Okay, yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Lama. It's the discussion. I'm doing this discussion because I promised you all, okay? Nothing else. It's really difficult, but I'm doing this discussion because I promised you. I promised that I'll do it right now because for Azim, I told that I'll do a company accounts discussion. So since I promised, I'm doing this discussion. Uh, so kids, without any further delays, let's start the discussion because management scene like the session was bit delayed. Fine, that's fine. Lamai, let's start and finish 2023 company accounts as soon as possible because that's the goal. Today, my goal is not just to finish the company accounts question, but what finish this question very quickly. Yeah, my goal is not to finish company accounts, but to finish company accounts very quickly. That's my goal. It's not to finish company accounts, but to someone instead of us. That's right. So once again, Lamai, before moving to the question, Lamai, I'll give you all a small introduction about company accounts, Lamai. When it comes to, yeah, I'll make it very simple. When it comes to company accounts, yes, uh, it's one of the compulsory questions in A levels where you'll get 40 marks. Yes, where you'll get 40 marks, and Lamai, even if you're writing A levels in 2024, 25, 26, and so on, yes, according to the current curriculum, yes, Lamai company accounts, it's a Lamai compulsory question, and you'll get 40 marks from this question, Lamai. Okay, fine, fine, all those things. I think most of y'all might know those things. And Lamai, if you ask me the time that you should take to do this question is Lamai, roughly around 45 minutes. 45 minutes, yeah, try to finish this question within around 45 minutes. Yes, try to finish this question once again within how many minutes, Lamai? 45 minutes. And what about the formatting thing? Lamai, join the formatting thing. මේ format අදින එක ළමයි මෙහෙමයි. Format අදින එක නම් ළමයි try to do the formats using that 10 minutes additional time. 10 minutes, they'll give some 10 minutes additional time. So use that 10 minutes additional time to do the formats. Yeah. Use that 10 minutes additional time to do the formats. Within that 10 minutes, don't do other things. Yeah, please do draw the formats. Okay, fine. And if I give a small understanding or like for the idea formats in yeah, first page lamai drew like take the yeah, take go to the first page and three quarter again drew the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive. And my last quarter ke daganna kids a statement of change in equity. That's the first page. So the second page, please fully allocate it to a statement of financial position. So hope it's very clear. And my third page, yeah, start from accounting notes, and the first note will be PP note. Ekat, yeah, and the kids. And don't try to do the other notes because the other notes it depends on the question. And third question you start from PP note. Take a definitely draw it because that will be definitely coming. And fourth page was allocate for notes. Then Lama, you can go to the fifth page, which will be allocated for workings. Yeah, fifth page it will be allocated for workings kids. Yes, fine. And yeah, so first working is classification of expenses to be specific. Yeah. Then Lama, see, allocate, yeah, another page for workings as well. But Really are like if you are a more bright student, lama, rarely you use 6 pages. Like first page it's for I mean PL and the changes in equity. Second page it's SFP. Third page lama it's for counting notes. Fourth is the counting notes. Five it's for workings and six also if you want you can allocate for workings. Okay, fine. And the next thing is lama, a lot of students usually ask from me. Even many students or else some of the students in this session also like asking from me continuously. They were asking from me, sir. And I answer, sir, me, Palavini at a company, like whether to do company accounts first or whether to do it last. It depends on you. Don't take my advice. It depends on you. So it depends on it depends on you means la mind. If you are confident with the company accounts, start do it first of all. Yeah, start do it first of all. Palavini question. But if you're not that much of confident, you cannot antimate granat. But anyway, even if you do it at the first to last line, definitely you should finish it within 45 minutes. Don't take more than 45 minutes. Okay, fine. So once again, whether you didn't do it first or last, please complete within 45 minutes. Okay, fine. Then Lama, I think all the additional information are given and Astrolama. So let's move to the question. So the first, yeah. So read the question. Lamai Runic PLC, it's a manufacturing company. Okay, fine. So Lamai, if we date back to company account questions, Lamai, the last manufacturing and trading in 2017 years, there was a question regarding to Dilharo Zaman, Madam Matagidya. Dilharo Zaman, and in that question, Lama, yes, they were talking about trading and manufacturing. This is Madam Matagidya. Yeah. Okay, fine. And Ida Pastelamai, for the first time, once again, they are talking about a manufacturing business. That Krishnalama, it was a manufacturing as well as a trading business, but this patient, it's only a manufacturing business. Okay. So, hope you guys know the difference between a manufacturing business and hope you guys know the difference between a trading business and a business which is doing both. Hope you guys know the difference. If I think if you guys want, I can teach it, Lama. Like when it comes to trading business, Lama, trading business, these are the business which uh, they purchase finished goods from another company, keep a profit, and sell it to another business. When it comes to a manufacturing business, they manufacture it, sell it to what? Other customers. Okay. If it's a manufacturing and trading business, they do both. They do both. So if you ask me, sir, like in accounting wise, how the difference is being affected, Lamai, Mihimai. If it's a trading business, Lamai, when it comes to those three businesses, there are only two differences. First of all, the way of calculating the cost of sales. Second one is the way of recognizing closing stock, closing inventory. So if it's Hagan kids, if it's a trading business, yes, you how are you are calculating the cost of sale? Cost of sale, you add only purchase. If it's a manufacturing business, when you're calculating the cost of sale, you add the production cost. If it's a manufacturing and a trading business, you add both the cost, I mean like the purchasing cost as well as the production cost. Okay, fine. And the way of categorizing inventory line, like if it's a trading business, just closing stock will be available. If it's a manufacturing business, you have the closing raw materials, closing work in progress, and closing stock. If it's, if it's both, once again, we have raw materials, work in progress. Closing stock consists of two things. One is manufactured goods, next one is purchase goods. Yeah. So that thing is very clear. Why the like, like if a student who is watching this recording, I think if we are like Lamai, if you're watching this recording, Mama Danno, definitely you're in a good state. Nata, you don't have the confidence of watching 2023 company accounts question. Yeah, itne fundamental there. Okay, fine. Let's come here. Lamai, PP cost is 85,000. Open equipment depreciation is 12,500. Okay, fine. Okay, there is a right of use asset of office equipment 20,000. Okay, fine. Lease liability is 21,000. Okay, fine. Lamai, they put that like even if you take 1 minute, read it. Prashna. Then there is a disposal and again is there sale. Okay, fine. Cost of sale, fine. Yes, if it's I told you if it's a manufacturing business, I told if it's a manufacturing business, yes, lama inventories. Jade tunagada categorize na raw materials, work in progress and finished goods. Medana lama you get them. But like, here ain't no kids. Whether work in progress, they're fine, but there'll be what? There'll be finished goods as well as raw materials. Then kids, we have the other income. Then you have the trade receivables, you have trade payables, you have cash and cash equivalents, you have trade capital returns, distribution costs. Okay, they have given the opening balance of expenses, fine, and they have given the income tax paid, a provision for income tax and provision for undefined. Fine, not at all problem. Now, what is the first thing they are mentioning? Lama? So go to yeah. After reading the trial balance, go to additional information. Before preparing financial statements for the end of 31st, 2023, the following information should be considered. Uh, yeah, before moving forward, let me 2000, like when it comes to 2023 question, it's very easy question. Two adjustments are a bit difficult. Two again, okay, my first adjustment, I think it's very kind of a complicated adjustment. 10,000 unit of goods were produced during the current year file. 10% of these units, okay, will remain unsold, okay, during, okay, and it is shown as closing finished goods inventory, fine. The depreciation allowed for the production of goods have not been considered when, yeah, in the computation of the cost of sales and the cost of goods, cost of finished goods inventory shown in the trial balance. Assume that there is no, yeah, never. First of all, if you try to adjust this lamai, the question will be very much difficult. Like first of all, if you try to adjust this, I mean, it will be really difficult. Make a partner, yeah. So the best option is keep first adjustment as it is. Keep it. Just keep it. Just keep it. Don't ask why. Just keep it. Kids, if you go to second adjustment, are the coming to first adjustment? Just keep it. Yeah. So, Lamai, if a student is available, Lamai, put that in on a mail. Like, if you guys are available, can you please update once again in the Edu-Sketch group that session is happening and they can join live? Yeah, put a message at the kids. And also, if you want, you guys can what? Put a small reminder, Lamai. Put a reminder at the as the fair form because මෙතන ඉන්නේ එක තාගේ විහාරසින් දාලා තියෙනවා අය පොඩි රසින්ම දාන්න පොඩි ඉන්ට් එකක් දාලා ask them to join Rasin and thank you in advance. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's move to the second adjustment. The motor vehicle owned by the company was sold. Look at the Ramai, the motor vehicle which is owned by the business was sold on 1st Foot 2020, which means at the beginning of the year for how much, Ramai? 4,000, and it has resulted a gain of 600,000, and ඒක තිබ්බනේ ළමයි gain of motor vehicle. And that now that's the advantage of what reading the trial balance. මේ බලන්න ළමයි ලස්සන්ට මෙතන තිබ්බගේ how much is the gain of disposal of motor vehicle. Yeah, the gain you get from the disposal of motor vehicle is how much? It's 600, right? Yeah, fine. Okay, accumulated depreciation of this motor vehicle is how much, ළමයි? Yeah, accumulated depreciation, fine. This disposal has been properly accounted. Fine. Lamai, now it's related to PP, right? So when you are doing adjustments related to PP, Lamai, if you are doing adjustments related to PP, don't try to like don't try to do it adjustment by adjustment. ඒක කරන්න යන්න එපා. يعني, okay, do it adjustment by adjustment, but after reading all the adjustments related to PP. That's my small advice, man. So once again, if you are gonna adjust PP related thing in company accounts, it's better. I mean, it's better to read all the adjustments. It's better to read all the adjustments related to PP, and sorry, it's better to read all the once again all the adjustments to PP and do it at once. So make a දැක්ක ගමන් don't try to adjust more because you might be what වැඩ. Oh, you might give වැඩ එක වෙනම කතාවක්. But please don't try to do it adjustment by adjustment. මොකද sometimes තමයි motor vehicle එකට affect වෙන like another adjustment which might be affecting the motor vehicle might be available down. So it would lama you have to what cut, chop, and really what already. So the best thing is lama read all the adjustments related to PP and do that also. Okay. Read second one lama they are giving the composition of PP fine. And then we have the land was revalued kata. Then lama yeah, a purchase of new machinery plant is available, which means lama from second adjust second, third, fourth, fifth. Sixth on fine because it's a lease, you can record it separately. I mean, apart from that, if you consider from the adjustment number 2, 3, 4, and 5, if you consider adjustment number 2, 3, 4, 5, all the adjustments related to PP. Now, that's the advantage of reading what company. I mean, reading adjustments. Now. Yeah, that's the advantage of reading adjustments. Please do read the adjustments. Please. So, hurry. Now, Lama, it's first of all, identify what are the like, okay, they are given the composition of PP and the accumulated depreciation. Okay, are given below. So, kids, what are the assets available in this business? Yeah, let me know, kids. What are the assets available? You can let me in the chat portal as well. You have the land and what else? And you have the what, kids? You have a factory building, a factory building, and fine. Yeah, manufacturing plants. Better too. Factory building. You have manufacturing plants. You have office equipment. At the moment, you have four you have four types of assets Lama, in this business, which is land, factory building, uh, machinery plants, and office equipment. Okay, fine, fine. And Lama, and what they have given is they have given the opening cost for the closing cost. It's obviously the closing cost, right? Cost as at 31st 2023, which means this is the opening cost or the closing cost. It's the closing cost, right? Am I correct? It's obviously the closing. It's obviously the closing cost. Now, since they have given the closing cost, don't try to record the closing cost in pen. It's better to record the closing cost in pencil. The main reason I'm saying to record it in pencil, sometimes, I mean, obviously, even while doing this question, you might observe there might be some closing costs which are wrong. Hmm. When the those things might be possible. So it's better. Yeah, record these values, but it's better to record it in pencil. As a precaution, yeah, okay, fine, you record these. It's fine, you record these things, but it's better to record these in pencil. What about the accumulated depreciation, kids? Now, the accumulated depreciation thing they have given in what? Accumulated depreciation, yeah, they have given based on the opening. As at the opening data, you take your pencil, not the pencil, the pen, to be precise, yeah, and just record the accumulated depreciation. Fine, no issues. You might be wondering, so where is the total column? Okay, wait a minute. Total column. Okay, damn, yeah, just wait. First of all, just record these items, Laman. Just record these items. It's yeah. So let's move to next. Okay, let's move to here, Laman. There were no okay, like they have mentioned there were no other purchases, disposals, revaluations of revaluations of property, plant, and equipment other than those indicated in the second one, fourth one, and the fifth one. Okay, fine, but like, main Lamai then like you should agree to what I said, right, Lamai? Then mummy me cable meaning mummy like I told those things. I told you all to what? I told you all to first of all read all the adjustments related to PP. Okay, we read that. There's one point about the items one by one karan. Like there might be interrelationship between those adjustments. So that's what they are mentioning. So they are saying, okay, there are no other purchases, disposals, or evaluations other than the things available in what? Second, fourth, and fifth. So now if a student who is first of all, like if a student is trying to do the what? If a student is trying to do the second adjustments without doing the third one, he or she will be confused. Anivaran confused, Anivaran confused, Definitely. He or she will be definitely confused, Lamai. Why is it? If you're just trying to do the second one, Lamai, you don't have an idea about the PP, the composition of PP. So that's why I'm saying, come key one. Then Lamai, now you can do the second one. Okay, they are saying the motor vehicle, which means there is a motor vehicle. There was a motor vehicle owned by the company, sold at the beginning of the year for 4,000 and had gained a profit of 600,000. And the accumulated depreciation of this motor vehicle is 2,100 fine. This disposal has been properly accounted. Now, the students might be wondering, sir, where is this motor vehicle column? You might be wondering, so where is this motor vehicle column? Lamai, to be more precise, there might be one motor vehicle available in this business. Yeah, මේ business එකේ තියෙන්න ඇත්තේ motor vehicle එකයි. This business might have only one motor vehicle. Fine. And that too also they have sold at the beginning of the year and they have given the cost at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, Lamai, there will be no motor vehicle because it's sold. So that's why there is no motor vehicle amount account remaining here. Are we clear, Lamai? Kids, are we clear? So what is the main reason why there is no outstanding motor vehicle balance in the PP composition? The main reason for that is there was only there was only one motor vehicle in the business, and even that motor vehicle has been sold at the beginning of the year. May business this business had only one motor vehicle, and that motor vehicle has been sold at the beginning of the year. Fine. So if the motor vehicle is being sold at the beginning of the year, okay, there will be no motor vehicle at the end of the year. I mean, it's practical. They are giving the cost at the end of the year. At the end of the year, my cost and they have recorded this disposal properly. So my motor vehicle account is not available with the correct. If it's sold, kids, I mean, if it's sold, how the hell can it be available? That's practical. Are we clear? Yeah, fine, right? They're So, but Lama, yeah, for accounting purposes, yeah, we should still open a separate account for motor vehicles. Okay, fine. Open a separate account for motor vehicles. Fine. Open a separate account for motor vehicles. Fine. Open a separate account for motor vehicles. Balan lama karne vidhi. Open a separate account for motor vehicles. Please do open a separate account for motor vehicles. And motor vehicle. Okay, lama one. Motor vehicle owned by the company was sold at the beginning of the year for 4,000, and it had a gain of how much, kids? Okay, 600. Okay, fine. No issue. Go to workings. Go to workings and put W3. Okay. Kids, tell me how to find the disposal profit, kids. I mean, the disposal profit and loss, how to find it? How to find disposal profit and loss? Just let me know how to find the disposal profit and loss. How to find it? You take the selling price. You take the selling price. From that, you minus the carrying value. I mean, obviously, I mean, kids, it's simple. How to find the disposal profit? Disposal profit, how to find it? You take the selling price of a particular asset and just minus it from its carrying value. Fine, it's simple. So, kids, how much is the selling price of this particular asset? Let me asset take a selling price again. It is sold for 4,000, right? Am I correct? And okay, you do know the carrying value, put it at as exclamai. And after selling this particular asset for 4,000, how much of gain they are getting? They are getting a profit of 6. So obviously, kids, how much would be the carrying value? Lamai? Yeah, maybe at x දාගන්න put x here kids x equals years 2000 minus 600 fine. Fine. The answer will be 3,400. So which means the carrying value of the motor vehicle is 3,400 and that is being sold for 4,000. That's why you're getting a profit of 600. Fine. Okay, fine. Then kids can write the fifth working. Kids, can you guys let me know how to find the carrying value of I mean, how to find the carrying value of an asset? How to find the carrying value of an asset? It's cost minus the cumulative depreciation, isn't it, kids? It's cost minus accumulated depreciation. Am I correct, Lama? What is carrying? How to find carrying value? Carrying value will be obviously cost minus accumulated depreciation. You're very good, Rasa. So how much? I mean, now you do know the cost, Lama. You do know the cost. You still, I mean, don't know the cost of X. Mean, yeah, like how much is the accumulated depreciation of the sold assets? They're specifically mentioning the accumulated depreciation as well, right? It's how it's 2,100. And how much is the carrying value of it? Carrying value, we found it, Laman, it's 3,400. Am I correct? So put X here. X, yeah, put it here. Yeah, put X here. Natta mihimai. Like you can keep the X that side. You can keep the X that side and am I order me pattern 3,400 gain. Then yeah, be like X plus X, blah blah blah. The total will be 5,004. Yeah. So how much is the cost of the like Lama, how tell me how much is the cost of the motorway? It's 5,005. Now, how did I found 5,500? It's very simple, kids. First of all, okay, like I just followed two steps. Tell me, Lama, how to find the disposal profit. Disposal profit to always profit equals, profit equals. It's how to find the profit. Selling price minus the carrying value. So the selling price, Lama, it's 4,000. And carrying value you put it X and profit is 600. So you bring X here and 4,000 minus 600, answer will be 3,400. So the carrying value is 3,400. Then the next thing, then the next thing. Kids, how to find the carrying value? Carrying value equals cost minus accumulated depreciation. Cost cost X carrying value is 3,400. How much is the accumulated depreciation minus 2,100? Then my X keep this side, this minus 2,100, then it become plus. So the answer will be 5,500. Are we clear? Lama, yeah, the cost is 5,500. From that, accumulated depreciation will be minus 2,100. So how much will be the calendar? 3,400. Are we clear there? Are we clear? Is that difficult? I can make it more complex, but no need, right? Is it simple and clear, kids? Is it simple and clear? Yeah. No? So what you should do is, kids, just go to motor vehicles. Just go to motor vehicles. Just go to motor vehicles and opening cost is how much? 5,500. Fine. How much is the opening accumulated depreciation? 2,100. Fine. Fine, we have found it. And Lamai, and now this entire thing was sold, right? So go to disposals column and from there minus 5,500. And go to what? Remove depreciation minus 600. I mean, so it's very simple, kids. Why is it? Because when we sell a motor vehicle or when we sell a depreciating asset, Lama, when we sell a depreciating asset, what should you do? You should remove the cost of it separately. You should remove the accumulated depreciation separately. Yeah, fine. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. ඕන්නල්ලමයි දාගන්න. I mean, as additional note, if you want, you guys can record it here. Workings number 6. Workings number 6, it's disposal, disposal. I mean, let's record the what? Let's record the disposal. Let's record the disposal of depreciating assets. Let's record the disposal of. I mean, how to account the disposal of depreciating assets? Okay, steps. There is one step. First of all, yeah, the first step number one, recognize the sales proceeds. Yeah, sales proceeds recognize karagana. Then what? Remove cost. Remove the accumulated depreciation. Fourth one, recognize the disposal gain or loss. Fine. Fine. So those are the steps, Lama. Recognize the sales proceeds, remove the cost of the sold asset, remove the accumulated depreciation, recognize the disposal, profit or loss. It's very simple, kids, isn't it? Isn't it? Hmm? ඔක්කොම යාලා කරලා තියෙන මම නිකන් ඔය දැම්ම ඉතින් you should remove, yeah, you should recognize the sales profit which they have done it properly. Should remove the cost of the sold assets, which is 5,500. You should remove the accumulated depreciation of the sold assets, which is 2,100. And you can separately, you should separately recognize the disposal gain or loss. There is a gain, right? So kids, method දාගන්න kids disposal, yeah. Disposal gain of, I mean, sale of motor vehicle, how much is it? 600. Open a note called other income. I have already opened, and the note number is note number 3, other income. And disposal gain, just recognize 600. It's very simple. I mean, come on, kids. Was it difficult? Kids, was it difficult? Was it difficult? No, right? No, it's not difficult. It's not at all difficult. Was it difficult, kids? So ask them, our usual students to join online, please, because I'm doing it so fast. And in a way, you guys can understand. So please update in our accounting group and tell them to come because I'm doing it so fast. I mean, so fast the way everyone can understand. So kids, yeah, now yeah, close. It's obvious, kids. Opening you had a cost of 5,500. Now it's sold. Now the closing cost is 0. Opening you had an accumulated depreciation of 2,100. It's sold as sold. So closing accumulated depreciation is 0. So now I definitely the carrying value will be also because now you have no motor vehicle. Fine. Motor vehicle and if the entire motor vehicle is sold, how the hell can you have a motor vehicle? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Huh? මෝටර් එකක් තියෙන්න තියන්නේ නැහැ නේද දෙයියනේ ඉතින් මෝටර් එකක් එක නම් සිම්පල් නේ මෝටර් එකක් එක්ක මොකද මෝටර් එකක් තියෙන්නේ very simple. Shall we go to next one? May depreciation for the current year should be provided as well, right? Because they have given the opening accumulated depreciation. So මතක තියාගන්න kids current year dip should be calculated. මතක තියාගන්න current year dip should be calculated. Okay, next one, fine. The land of business was revalued for the first time. Okay. So for the first time at the end of the year, land was revalued for how much, Ramayana? 6,400. No entry has been made in this record. Okay, how to record it? What do you think it's very simple. How to record it? How to record it? So Lamai, yeah, it's simple. How much is the closing cost of the land? में land के closing cost का किया देखिए. How much is the closing cost? Kids, how much is the closing cost of the land? How much is the closing cost of land? It's 7,000, right? Isn't it? Land के closing cost है 700. But okay, a professional valuer is revaluing the land. Professional value is revaluing the land, and he or she is telling the closing, I mean, revealed amount of the land is 6,400. So what happens now? This 7,000, which I told you to write in pencil, within a 6,400 card. And kids, very simple. How much is the disposal deficit, Lama? How much is the, I mean, kids, once again, yeah. Now, closing, yeah, closing cost of the land was 7,000. Closing cost of the land was 7,000. Land ki closing cost is 7,000 kids. Okay, fine. And I mean, there were no additions of land. There were no disposals of land. Revaluation but they have not adjusted it. So which means, so once again, it's once again in this scenario, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that there is what no additions, like no land has been purchased within this year. There is no disposals. Nothing has been sold. There is no revaluations of land. Okay, fine, fine. No, no, it's not there. It's not there. I mean, revaluation is tiba so which means okay, fine. Revaluation is tiba nanny, so that's why yeah. It's 7,000 coming, so which means I mean, obviously opening cost will be also 1,000. So what's the simple dilemma? If nothing has been happened to land in this year, land's closing cost will be automatically the opening cost. Now, Lamai, they have revalued the land, and the revalued amount is 6,400 fine, which means how much is the how much is the deficit? 600. You just record it like this. You just record it like this. It's simple. Are we clear? Clear now? Are we clear, kids? Lamai, the closing cost of the land was 7,000, which they have given, which is incorrect. And within this year, nothing has happened to the cost of the land, so which means the opening cost will be also 7,000. Now let's what? Now let's then record the revaluation. So the land has been revalued, which they have not recorded. So now we are recording it. And now the real amount is 6,400, and which means how much is the deficit? It's 600, right? So Lamai, this is the first time deficit, right? So if there's a deficit for the first time, I mean, like, if it's a deficit for the first time, a particular asset has been reviewed and there is a deficit for the first time. So kids, where do you record it? Kiddos, where do you record it? If there's a deficit for the first time, where do you record it? You go to expenses and record land revaluation loss of land killer, and record this 600 on the expense. Very good, Sama. Very good, Nasin. Your answer correct. Yeah, fine. Very good. All the students are getting under the exam. Very. Yeah, fine, fine. Huh. Yes. Very good. So, Lamai, once again, if there is a revaluation deficit for the first time, you go to other expense, and then it's simple. It's simple. Baila unne. So, Lamai, there is no accumulated depreciation of land because land has unlimited useful lifetime. So, fine, fine. So, Lamai, then your carrying value will be over 6,000 for done and dusted. Then and dusted. Done and dusted. That's it. Okay, now the so-called what more difficult. Like, students difficult adjustment. Okay, let's go to the students difficult adjustment. I'm like, yeah, more like, oh, the difficult adjustment. Let's go to the difficult adjustment. Like, another make a difficult thing. Shall we what? Shall we check whether this adjustment is what so-called difficult? Okay, let's find. Easy. Very easy. No, this question is It's actually easy. Only one part is difficult. Pick a part that is difficult. මේකවිල්ලා මේ part එක, the way of calculating the cost of it, that's only difficult. Other than that, it's bloody easy, me. Very easy. Very easy. It's more blood. If the just young very mild. Okay, company purchase a new manufacturing plant. Okay, manufacturing plant. Go to manufacturing plants. At the moment, the closing cost of manufacturing plants are 38,000, whereas the opening accumulated depreciation is 4,005. The company has purchased the manufacturing plant on 20th March 2023, right? So, which means at the end of the year, like, keep this, like, this accounting period or the reporting period is starting on 2022 April 1st and it's ending on 2023 March 31st. Fine. And kids, this company is purchasing this machine on 2023 March 20th. You can indicate like just 10 days before the closing date of this accounting period. Just 10 days before the closing date of the accounting period. Yes. Once again, just 10 days before the closing period of the reporting period. Yes, they are purchasing and manufacturing plant and the cost is 10 million. Fine. Fine. And it has been debited to manufacturing plant account. Okay, what else should you do? When you're purchasing what? Yeah, when you're purchasing an manufacturing plant on cash basis, uh, manufacturing plant or relevant asset account debit and cash account debit. Okay, fine. It's they are done it properly. They are done it properly. Hey, what next? And it has been debited. It has been debited to manufacturing plant. Okay, fine. The installation cost. Okay, they just okay, they're saying the installation cost and the initial testing cost of the plant incurred during the month of March was 2,000 and 1,500 respectively. Okay, fine. So shall we go into what? The working scholar. Otherwise, yeah, you guys see what uh, kind of you guys will like what Mahara game to misunderstand. You guys will not give your maximum effort not to understand it properly, but to what? Understand it incorrectly. I know about you guys. Kids, when I'm teaching this, your maximum effort will be to misunderstand, not to understand. So these related to LK 16 QT. How to recognize initial cost of PPE. How to recognize the initial cost of PPE. So this is the cream of the session. So this is the cream. So how to recognize the initial cost of PPE. So the first, yeah, how to recognize the initial cost of the PPE. Lamai, how much is the purchasing cost of this manufacturing plant or whatever it is? It's Is it 10 million, right? 10 million, right? Okay, fine. Then kids, how much is the installation cost? How much is the installation cost? So installation cost and testing cost, installation cost is straight away 2 million. Then testing you should be a bit careful, okay? And how much is the initial testing cost? It's 1,500. But kids, the testing, the testing cost is how much, kids? It's 1.5 million, but make a record kara the put the parisange. Yes, kids, the testing cost is 1,000 1,500 or 1.5 million, but please be what? Cautious when you're recording this testing cost. But I'll just record it like this. Then I don't record. Then what else have they say? No? Both these cost items have been included in administration cost. Administration expenses. Okay, fine. Fine. The initial testing cost. Okay. Now, first of all, kids. First of all, lamai me, installation cost and testing cost. Can you record it under administration expense? First of all, tell me that. Don't tell me anything, just tell me, can you record these expenses under, like, both these costs have been included administration expenses? No, it's not possible. You can't. Pisudala, you can't. I mean, come on, kids, are the administration costs? Administration can obviously read cost, kids. There, it's wrong. So the first mistake detected. So remove, first of all, remove, what am I? Remove. There's installation, right? How much is the installation, kids? 2,000. First of all, remove that installation 2,000. Understand the logic. Understand the logic. Just remove that installation 2,000 or installation 2,000 because no, that's no, that's not an administration expense. Huh? Installation level, what do? You should add to the initial cost, kids. Huh? So according to LKAS 69, what have they mentioned? How to recognize an initial cost of an asset? How to recognize the initial cost of an asset? It's purchase price plus all the other expenses incurred to bring the machine to the place. Yeah, bring the machine to the place. Bring, like, it's Lamai, how to recognize the initial cost of an PPE. It's purchasing price plus all the other costs incurred to bring the machine into a usable state. Huh? How? Yeah, it's Lamai cost plus other expense, other cost, purchase cost plus other cost incurred to bring machine to usable state. Lamai, Aran, initial cost is not always equals to purchasing cost. It's purchase cost plus any other cost incurred to bring the machine to usable state. So, installation cost. Without installing the machine, you can't use the machine. How they can use the machine without installing it? So, installation cost should be added to initial cost. It's not an administration cost. So, administration again, remove that shit from administration and add it to initial cost. Add it to what? Initial cost. Okay, fine. And then now starts the more important thing. Now starts the what? Okay, installation thing done. Now starts the test. Initial. Okay, let's go there. I mean, initial testing cost consists of raw material cost of goods manufactured 1,000 and a professional fee of 500,000. Okay, fine. The goods produced during the initial testing have been distributed free of charge for sales promotion. Okay, fine. This plant is available for use in the next year. Once again, kids confused in Nepal. Initial testing cost consists of so if you break down this initial testing cost, if you break down this initial testing cost, this initial testing cost, I mean 1 million is what? It's cost of raw materials. It's cost of raw materials. It's cost of raw materials. It's what kids cost of raw materials used for testing. Cost of what kids? Cost of raw materials used for testing. Where but a confused then. And next thing is 0.5 million professional fee. Now starts the most important part. Now starts the what kids? Now starts the most important part. kids. How much is the testing cost? Now my testing cost is 1.5 million, which consists of 1 million cost of raw materials used for testing. Next 0.5 million. Yes, Lama, what is it? Professional fee. Okay, fine, fine, no issues, no issues. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. According to new syllabus, are the Lamai, according to the recent amendment, according to recent amendment, or according to the amendment which happened in 2023, Lamai, Api Lamai, like we don't add this like when it comes to testing costs, Lamai, if testing cost consists of raw material costs used for testing and professionals in these scenarios, once again, in a scenario where testing costs consist of two things, cost of raw materials used for testing and professionals. මේ වගේ තැනක ළමයි, we only add the professionals in these kinds of scenarios. අපි total testing cost එක මෙතනට එකතු කරන්නේ නැහැ. We add only the what kids? We add only the professional fee to the initial cost. Don't get confused. Confused when they pop. Confused when they at the minute. There's nothing to be confused. There's nothing to be confused. Confused when they at the minute. In a scenario where initial testing costs consist of cost of raw materials used and professional testing fee. In that scenario, add only professional fee to initial cost. Then you might be wondering, sir, what about the cost of raw materials used? Lama, if the cost of raw materials used is being sold to customers with a sales, the sale, Lama, if the cost of raw materials, if the cost of what kids? If the cost of raw materials is being sold to customers with a sale value, mehi mana. Cost of raw materials add to cost of sales because it's been sold. Sales proceeds at the sales. Lamai, if the cost of raw materials used for testing, if the cost of raw materials used for testing is being sold to customers with a sale, Lamai, here, yeah, when it comes to testing, Lamai, when it comes to testing, yeah, when it comes to testing this machine, Lamai, of proper professional fee of 0.5 million is incurred. Always lamai professional fee add to initial cost. Add it to our initial cost. But what about the cost of raw materials used? Don't try to add it to initial cost. Don't try to add it to initial cost. Initial cost you don't add it to initial cost. You might be wondering, so why? Lamai, if the cost of raw materials used for testing is being sold, like, when it comes to testing a machine lama, yeah, professional like they'll be testing and lama, then you on one side you will be inputting raw materials, then other side you will be having the outputs. If the outputs are being sold to customers with the sale value, what you should do is cost of raw materials add to cost of sale, sales proceeds add to sales. That is kids. That is kids. Only if the raw materials used for testing is being sold to customers with the what sale value. But the goods produced during initial testing has been distributed free of charge as sales promotion. මෙතන මේ මගුල් මුකුත් නැහැ. No, ain't. You don't have these shit. Right? You don't have these shit. Here, Lama, in this scenario, here, always name here, since the goods produced is being here, since the goods produced is being sold to customer. Like that, given, sold given. Really, as sales promotion, it is considered as sales promotion cost and puts it under distribution cost. Are we clear here? මෙතන මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ කියන එක තේරෙනවද? Kids deal understood to be more specific. But I can make a maybe like මෙහෙම බලමු. මෙහෙම බලු පේනවලු guys can see it now. Kids here the here since the cost here since the goods produced is being given to customers freely as sales promotion, it is considered as sales promotion cost and put it under distribution cost. Are we clear here? මෙතන තේරුණාද? It's not difficult, isn't it, kids? අමාරු නෑනේ. It's not difficult. Usually, අර ළමයි පටල ගන්න ළමයි දැන් මෙහෙමනේ. So as a lecturers, what we do is we according to the new amendment අපි මොකක්ද කියන okay according to the new amendment ළමයි අපි කියනවා yeah the cost of the raw materials used in testing added to cost of sale and sales proceeds you get added to sales. Okay, fine. That's how the amendment is telling. But when doing the question, we are doing it in a separate manner. The students will be confused. Confused under that name. Why is it? Because here the cost of raw materials which are using for testing, it's not being like they are not selling it to customers with the sale value. You think it's if you're not like if you're not what if you're not selling it to customers with the sale value, then customer we could understand if you're not selling to customers with the sale value, how then can you add it to cost of sales and how to add it to sales? Because nothing like that is happening in Mitra Lama. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, fine. 1 million worth of raw materials are using for testing, but it's not being sold to customers with a sale value. It's not being sold to customers. So you can't add it to cost of sales and sales because cost of sale includes the cost of goods. The cost of sale can be the actual cost of the goods which is sold. It's not being sold to customers. No, it's not being sold. No, and the customer customer is not giving us cash. So as a maybe sales also not increase. What happens is we are giving it free of charge. We are giving it to customers free of charge. And so you see what? Sales promotion expense. So what you should do is kids. In this scenario, just remove these what is it, kids? Just remove this testing anyway from administration 1,500 and sales promotion other side, yeah, put here as 1,000. Simple. Sales promotion put here as 1,000. And that 0.5 million lama, yeah. Professional fee, add that to what? Initial cost. So now how much is the initial cost of the right of use? Sorry, how much is the initial cost of the PEEP? It's 12.5 million, right? But lama, they have only recognized 10 million as initial cost, right? It would have put like for the initial cost lama, another how much should be added? For the initial cost lama, yeah. How much should be added? 2,500. Okay, fine. Lama, yes. Come to manufacturing plants. And how much is the closing cost of manufacturing plants? It's 38,000, right? Isn't it, kids? And inside these 38,000, they have already included the purchasing cost of the manufacturing plant, which is, yeah, 10 million. 10 million, hari last 10 million, 10,000. Okay, fine. That 10 million is available. So, which means, kids, how much should be the, yeah, there is no other disposal. So, how much should be the opening cost, Lamai? Is it 28,000? Is it 28,000? Yes, right. So, Terenallamai. So, the closing cost of the manufacturing plants is 38,000 because they have already included the purchasing cost of the manufacturing plant, which is 10,000, which means obviously the opening cost is 28,000. Fine. Now, Prashnak, the real addition, should it be 10,000 or 12,500? Please join the chat portal. Can you guys give me an answer? Is it actually 10,000 or 12,500? Kian no kids. Is it actually 10,000 or 12,500? Actually, how much is it? Actually, how much is it? 12,500, right? They have not recorded this, that 2,500. What's that 2,500? 2,000 is the installation, and that 500 is the professional fee. So it's 2,500. That 1,000 you don't add it lamai because, yeah, raw material cost and it's a sales promotion cost and you recognize it separately. Now, the true closing cost should be not 38,000 lamai pencil and you have to like what you wrote from pencil, erase it and record it as 40,500. Are we clear here? My dear students, are we clear or not? Are we clear here? Are we clear? I won't repeat it. Are we clear? Because I should finish it quickly. Yes, I think we are clear, right? The difficulty. It is difficult. 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 No, right? No, it. Is it difficult? No. There were two mistakes. Recognize the installation and initial testing and the administration cost. Go to administration cost. First of all, remove those expenses and the installation cost, add it to initial cost. Add it to initial cost. Fine. But when it comes to testing cost, Lama, according to new amendment, if the testing cost consists of professional fee and cost of raw materials used for testing, only the professional fee will be added to initial cost, so 0.5 million. Whereas the cost of raw materials, that 5 million you put away separately. And if those what? If those cost of raw materials used for testing is sold for customers for a sale value, yeah, I mean, the raw materials which are using for testing after what? After testing and after producing the finished products, if it's been sold to a customer which is selling price, in that occasion you have to cost of sale, the cost of raw materials and sales profits you have to sales. But here, unfortunately, the management or the owner has decided to give it freely. So it's an expense. That 1,000 is it's just an expense. Just an expense. Just record as sales promotion expense. Are we clear, kids? Yeah, are we clear? Yes or no, kids? That's it. So initially, I go to PPE under manufacturing plants. Yes, 38,000 was the cost. And inside this 30,000, there was addition of 10,000. So which means the opening cost is 28,000, but the real addition is 12,500 because the 2,000 installation and 500 professional fee should be added, and the correct closing cost is 40,500. Are we clear? And you're saying this is difficult. I mean, what the hell is difficult? That's what I'm asking. The only thing difficult is to do properly. හරියට කරන්න තමයි මම. හරියට බෑ. Like, to make mistakes is only difficult. හරියට කරන්න lazy. Shall we go to the sixth one? The company, so I'm not done with the depreciations to be precise. Okay, මම depreciations කරන්න මට අගල ගන්න මේක. My plan is to finish it quickly and clear. The company obtain the company obtain a right of use asset. A company obtain a right of use asset at the beginning of the first 2022 can beginning of the year to be used as its okay office එකේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න නෑ. يعني මොකක් හරි කරගෙන building okay building so building කියන්නේ it's used for office කියන්නේ it's used for administration purpose, which means if there is any depreciations අපි දානවා administration එකට. That's what they are trying to say as lamai. Otherwise, there is no need to tell those baila. Those baila are being mentioned lamai to indicate that this building is used in the office. Therefore, the depreciations and all the other costs related to what working capital expenses related to building should be recorded as administration expense, not distribution. Okay, lamai. The lease agreement is 5 years. The useful lifetime of the building is 25 years. The ownership of the building is not transferred to the company at the end of the lease term. These things I think I have told my students over and over again. Yes, Lamai. A quick explanation. What is leasing? Lamai, in Sri Lanka, a lot of students and a lot of people in Sri Lanka, we misinterpret leasing and hire purchase. In Sri Lanka, Lamai, we misinterpret leasing and hire purchase. What is leasing? Leasing is just renting. Leasing can renting a fixed asset for a fixed time period. So then you might be wondering, so what about the ownership? Lamai, the ownership අපිට හම්බ වෙනවද නැද්ද? Whether ownership we receive or not will be depending on the leasing agreement. If the leasing agreement is telling we get the ownership, we get the ownership. If the leasing agreement is telling we don't get the ownership, we don't get the ownership. Hope it's very clear. These are nice things. If you refer questions before 2019, Lamai, in those questions, whether it's operation lease or finance lease. I don't like to go for those things because those are BS things. According to new syllabus, they won't talk about whether it's finance lease or whether it's operation lease. According to new syllabus, though they are not talking about whether it's operation lease or finance lease. They ownership they'll be specifically mentioning. They'll be specifically mentioning in the question itself whether we receive the ownership or not at the end of the list. But if you refer questions before 2019, in questions there are the word finance lease is available now, but they are not mentioning whether we are receiving the ownership or not. Because now in finance lease, by default we get the ownership. In operational lease by default we don't get the ownership by default. But according to syllabus or syllabus yeah, kids, according to new syllabus or syllabus I mean, they're not talking about finance lease and operation lease. Definitely ownership definitely they'll mention whether we get the ownership or not. Are we clear, kids? My dear students, are we clear or not? Are we clear? Yeah, it's clear, right? So, I mean, for the additional, I just mentioned some additional stuff. It's clear. Fine. Okay, kids, how much if the lease agreement is 5 years, but useful lifetime is 25 years, and the ownership of the building is not transferred to the company. Again, ownership if we are not getting the ownership, if we are not getting the ownership after the lease term, for how many years we can use this building? Only for how many years? 5 years, right? So leasing can leasing it's not like it's not hire purchase. Higher purchase can like higher purchase means purchasing a high value asset by making a down payment and agreeing to pay the remaining thing in installments. That is higher purchase. That is higher purchase. Higher purchase can purchasing what? Purchasing an high value asset by only making a down payment and agreeing to pay the remaining things in installments. So in higher purchase, definitely we get the ownership at the end of what? Agreement. There we need. There we need. But leasing, it's just you're just renting a fixed asset for a fixed time period. So it's not like definitely you get the ownership. Ownership, like whether you receive the ownership or not, will be depending on the leasing agreement. If leasing agreement we don't get the ownership, we don't get the ownership. We can only use the asset until the lease period is over. If we are getting the ownership until its entire lifetime, we can use it. So here am I the useful lifetime. So here the agreement is 5 years, useful lifetime is 25 years, but unfortunately, we don't get the ownership after the lease term. So which means we can use it only for 5 years. Okay, fine. The useful lifetime of the building is 25 years, but can't tell. We can't use it for 25 years because we don't get the ownership. No, it we can't use. When I get tied back, we can't use it. So we can only use it for 5 years. So which means when you find the depreciation, you should divide it from 5 years. Are I clear? So now my blah blah blah. The present value of future lease payments at the beginning of these 21 million. According to the lease agreement, five equal annual installments of 5,000 is paid over the lease term, and the first installment is due and was due at the end of this year. However, the company failed to what? Pay the first install. Okay. However, the company failed to pay the first installment on the due date, and it is paid on next year, June 30th. The lease interest for the lease interest for this year is 1,280, and the lease interest for the next year is 1,055. Assume there is no down payment, initial direct cost for this lease. The present value of lease payments have been debited to right of use account and credited to what? Lease liability account. No other entry has been made in this respective account. It sounds difficult, right? Sounds difficult, right? No, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Amaruna, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Amaruna. Buddha Katama. Buddha Katama. First of all, kids, it's SLFRS. I think in your year, SLFRS 15 will definitely have because SLFRS 15 is not tested. Right? Lately, yeah, lately, is in 2020, a small question is available regarding SLFRS 15, but it's not like a huge question. But I think SLFRS 15, revenue recognition, there is a probability of testing in this. So, lease assets. SLFRS 16 is lease assets. So, am I the kids, how to recognize the initial cost of lease asset of right of use. Sorry, how to recognize the initial cost of right of use asset? How to how to recognize the initial cost of right of use asset? How to recognize the initial cost of right of use asset? It's down payment plus you call it opening loan amount or you call it initial lease liability. uh, opening opening just You should share this message. Alright, that's what the thing is. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Opening loan amount. Opening loan amount. Because of the accident, my parents have strictly told my brother to stay with, and I'm doing this class while getting scolded from mother. She told me to just take a break, just sleep, don't do anything. She asked whether I want to go to the hospital. I said, no, 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 okay, I have to what? I have to fulfill my responsibility, and she was scolding, and brother is being strictly but told to be by my side. And my brother is in grade 9, I think. Grade 9. So, opening loan amount, initially liability. So kids, once again, how to find the initial cost of a right of use asset, down payment plus opening loan amount, which is also known as initial lease liability. All am I very less than the present value of future lease payments. So once again, kids, how to recognize the initial cost of a how to recognize the initial cost of a lease asset or right of use asset? Down payment plus opening loan amount plus initial. I mean, opening loan amount is also known as initial lease liability or present value of future lease payments. Yes, plus other direct costs plus estimated cost of removal and dismantle. Still, in A levels, they did not test this cost, but it's available in syllabus. So, yeah, according to the given scenario, there is no down payment. They are saying there is no down payment, right? Meaning, assume there is no down payment, there is no initial direct cost. They are not even talking about estimated costs of removal and dismantle. And there is only what the present value of future lease payments, yes, or the opening loan amount. Always remember, the present value of future lease payments. So initial lease liability will become the opening loan amount, and that's equals to how much? How much is the present value of future lease payments? 21,000, right? So 21,000. So initial cost will be how much? It's 21,000. Are we pretty much clear here? How I obtain like the initial cost of lease liability? Oh, sorry, initial cost of right of usage. Are we clear? It's a matter of what? It's a matter of taking the total of down payment, opening loan amount, any other direct cost plus estimated cost of removal and dismantle. So there is no down payment, it's zero. Opening loan amount, it's opening loan amount or initial lease liability or present value of future lease payment, it's 21,000. No other direct cost, estimated cost of removal and dismantle, no. So yeah, initial cost of right of usage will be 21,000. ඒක තමයි මෙතන මෙයාලා කියලා තියෙන ළමයි. Yeah. Like they have mentioned ළමයි මේ බලන්න. Like read from here. Assume that there is no down payment. Assume that there is no down payment. Fine. Assume that there is no down payment. There is no initial direct cost for this lease. So which means the present value of lease installments has been debited to what right of use account and credited to yeah. Okay, indirectly they are saying since there is no down payment, other direct cost or estimate cost of removal and dismantle, like the present value of future lease payments will be the initial cost. Okay, fine. So now what you should do is open a note. I have already opened note number two, right of use asset. And now I put cost here. How much is the cost of it? 21,000. And now I put the heading as accumulated depreciation. So it's purchased at the beginning of the year, which means it's depreciated for 1 year. And how much is the useful? How I mean, like, although this machine can be used for 25 years, we can't. Since we don't get the ownership, we can only use it until the lease period, which is 5 years. So 21,000 can someone divide it by five and give me the answer? Is it 4,200? I'm terrible at math, so can someone read it? 21,000 divided by 5, is it 4,100? I'm terrible at math. So yes, kids. Yeah, right. So then how much is the carrying value? Is it 16,800? The carrying value? The carrying value of, yeah, the closing carrying value of the right of use is it 16,800? And kids, make sure this is one thing which I always miss when when I was at your age, recording the depreciation of right of use. Kids, can someone confirm it to me? The people who are in the live meeting, please. Is it fourth? Okay. And it's an expense under distribution. Sorry, administration. කියන්න බලාමයි. Please, please. Is it 4,200? The annual depreciation of machine? 21,000 divided by 5. Yeah, right, fine. Okay, fine. I think it's fine. No. I have just what? Prepared a small shortcut. Yeah, it's already available here as working number. I will make it two. I'll keep it as three itself because there'll be huge workings. I think for cost of sale, cost of this month account. Lama workings number three, workings three. Kids are you there? Are you guys there? Yes, I think you're there. So yeah, workings number three, calculation of lease status and interest expense, lease interest expense. So I have just introduced the formula, Lama. First of all, here, opening loan amount, annual installments, interest expense, capital repayment, and closing loan amount. So, kids, how much is the opening lease liability? How much is the present value of future lease payments? It is 21,000, isn't it, kids? And how much is the annual installment? They have already mentioned it. Is it 5,000? Yes, right? So, how much is the first year lease interest, man? Is it 1,000 to 1,280? It's very simple. So you record the year, you record the opening loan amount, you record the annual installments, you record the lease interest, you record the capital returns, you record the closing loan amount. Kids, how much is the opening loan amount? Is it 21,000? Yeah, no, kids, is it 21,000? It's 21,000. Annual installment is 5,000 and first year lease interest is 1,280. Lamai, hagan, kids, capital repayment planning. Kids, capital repayment planning, kids. Capital repayment means, capital repayment means, Lamai. Annual installment minus lease interest. Annual installment, so much? 5,000. 5,000 minus lease interest, how much is it? How much is the capital repayment? Always capital repayment means installment minus interest. How much is it? Is it 3,720? Please, kids, I'm terrible at math, so please help me. Is it 3,720? The capital repayment. And my capital repayment is the amount which will be deducted from the opening loan amount as well. So it's practical. We are paying 5,000 for the leasing company, but they cut off 1,280 as lease interest. And from the loan amount, they'll be only reducing 3,720. So kids, 21,000 minus 3,720, what is the answer? Is it 18,000, 17,000, 17,000? 17,280. So Lamai, the closing loan amount of the first year will be the opening loan amount of the second year, which is 70,000 to 80. Am I correct, kids? Yes or no? Can someone tell it to me? So second year annual installment is also 5,000, whereas the interest expense is 1,055. Am I correct? Yeah, right. And how much is the capital repayment, kids? Capital repayment එකේද මං හිතන්නේ 3,945 3,945 something like this. So then here the amount should be 13,000 uh, 13,000 30,335 the it's not sure at all. 30,300. I'm terrible at maths, so please. I think I'm I think I'm correct. Now, like, okay, although I did it like this, majority of the students might not pick up our grab it lah, money. So, I'll teach it once again. So, kids, once again, kids, at the beginning of the year, yes, at the beginning of the year, there was a there was a lease liability, initial lease liability of 21,000. So, in this year, we should pay 5,000 as annual installment. From that, they'll cut off 1,280 as interest expense, and from the loan, they'll reduce 3,720, which means at the end of the LMA, how much is payable? 17,280. And kids, that will be the opening loan amount of the next year. So in the next year, once again, the annual installment is same 5,000 interest expense 1,055. Then capital repayment, loan 3,945. So from 17,280, when you minus 3,945, how much is the closing loan amount after the end of second year? It's 13,335. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So go to expenses. And first of all, as lease interest, quickly record here lamai lease interest, go to finance and record here is 1,880 because lamai this year lease interest is how much? 1,280, right? Yeah, just record 1,280. That's the lease interest of the current year. This is the current year lamai. This is 2020 2/2023, which is the current year. This is 2023/2024, which is the next year. Are we clear? Yes, right? So this is the current year, whereas this is the next year. Are we clear? This is the current year and this is the next year. So my current year lease interest them next year, because next year you put it in the next year, okay, fine. So the problem is what? Prashna, there is a small problem. The problem is my yeah, start read from here. According to the lease agreement, 5 equal annual installments of what? According to lease agreements, 5 equal annual installments of 5,000 should be paid over the lease term, and the first installment should be paid as at 31st July 2023 at the end of the current year. How again? Which means the first installment is due at the end of the current year. Okay, fine. But however, the company failed to what? Company failed to pay the first installment on the due date, and it's paid in the next year. Next year, it's paid on 2023 June 30th. That's the problem. That's the issue. Now, how to teach this? So it's like this, lah. It's like this. It's like this. I uh How to teach this? It's මම නිකම්ම කියන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින් මේක non current liability දාන්න මේ total එක put it to current liability. I can say something like that, but it's very ugly to say like that. Okay, fine. I'll teach something like this. ළමයි, on 2022, for first, kids 20,000 was payable, and kids on 2023, March 31st, yes, Kalamai, how much should I have paid? Should pay 5,000 you pay, but interest after reducing the interest, Lamai, how much will be reduced? 3,720. That's fine. Which means at the end of 2023, March 31st, Lamai, how much is how much is remain? Yeah, right, like if the due amount is paid properly, yes, Lama, yeah, as usual, 17,280 is only due. That's all. That's only due. And yeah, and within another 12 months, yes, Lama, within another 12 months, Lama, yes, you make the next payment. And how much is it? It's 5,000 after cut off in interest. Yes, from the loan, 3,945 should be reduced. Okay, fine. And this installment is paid in the next year. Once again, kids, on 2024, March 31st, should pay how much? To be honest, should pay after reducing the interest, 3,945. Then Lamai, finally, at the end of next year, not this year, next year, how much is remaining? Kids, kids, it's 13,333. This is the remaining balance at the end of not this year, next year. And that's happening if you pay the first installment as well as the second installment. Now, the problem is, kids, no first installment, they have neither paid this year installment, so since this year installment is also payable, then what else, kids? Next year installment is also payable. So it's like this year installment is also payable, next year installment is also payable. So which means now we are on this date ni අපි දැන් ඉන්නේ ළමයි 2023 March 31st. Yes. We are in where ළමයි? We are in two. Yes, we are in when ළමයි? We are in 2023 March 31st. And unfortunately, this installment is also not paid. And within 12 months ළමයි, next year installment also should be paid. So which means totally how much is the current liability? Totally, yeah. මෙතන current liability එක දාලා I think there were trade payables, ළමයි දාගන්න lease creditors. Lease creditors as current portion, current කියලා ළමයි, the amount which should be paid in this month, which is 3,720 plus 3,945. Both should be recorded. Why both? Why both? Is this? Why both, kids? Why both? Hey, dekho. Why both? Why both these kids? Like, okay, anyway, anyway, the next installment should be paid within 12 months. Anyway, next installment is payable within 12 months. So, Lama, if an liability is paid payable within 12 months, it's a what liability? Current liability. So, how much will be payable, Lama? 3,945. And Lama, the current year what? Current year loan portion is also payable. एक पे करने lamai next year के June 30, which means both are payable again. So both are current liability. So that's why under current liability the total will be put. How much is the total? It's I think 7,600 and something like that. And my lease rate is I mean like non-current portion, like how much is payable after 2 years. 2 years can not after 2 years, after 1 year. Like, we are in the what? We are in the end of the first year. So end of the first year, after another 1 year, how much is payable? 13,300. So anyway, now the truth is, Lama, if you take the two, if you add these two portions, Lama, still it will be 21,000. If you add this rate, if you add these two, Lama, still it will be 21,000. Aye. Because Lama is still, or as at 31st 2022, we haven't paid any installment. The bike installment path pay the loan will not be reduced. Simple. Are we clear here? So how this 7,665 came down? So this include the current year payable portion, 5,000 minus 1,280, which is 3,720, and the installment, like the loan which will be paid within another 12 months, which is once again 5,000 minus 1,055, 3,945. So the total current liabilities, it's 7,660. Are we clear? Are we clear? Yes or no? Are we clear? And Lamai, the non-current portion which is payable after 1 is 13,335. I think it's pretty much clear now, right? यार shortcut එකෙන් හදන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින් අර එහෙම අර මේ shortcut එක තේරෙලා කිනාට දන්නවා ඉතින් තේරෙන කෙනා කරන් තියෙන ළමයි this portion put it under non-current liability. Usually මෙහෙම කරන්නේ this portion දානවා non-current liability, this portion දානවා current liability. So in this scenario what happens is ළමයි, usually what do you do is this portion always you do it like this portion non-current liability, this portion current liability. But here the problem is even the first installment is not paid. Even that is paid what? Within another 3 or 4 months. So even that is current liability. So what you do is this time the both will be put as current liability and this portion as non-current liability. And wait. Let's move. Open a note called other current expense. Sorry. Other current liabilities. And Lama, lease interest payable. Now that lease in the installment 5,000 is not paid, so which means even the lease interest is what? Payable over a note called other current liabilities and record the lease interest as 1,000 to 8. Kids, are we clear there? I think we are more than clear there, right? So that's it. I mean, that's all about that adjustment. I think it's not that much of difficult mathematics. Okay, next one. The company sells goods with 1 year warranty and the closing warranty is 1,100. Like simply, the closing warranty itself they have directly given is 1,110. So what you should do, Lamai? So these kinds of warrant provision for warranty it's a liability, and they have given it directly in Kelima Dana provision. For now, you might be wondering, so why didn't you record it under other current liability? My provision for warranty, then income tax payable, like I mean, those are important liabilities. So it's better to disclose them directly. I mean, no offenses in putting it under, or no offenses in what putting it under these other current liability note and getting the total. But it's better if you can record the total. So provision for warranty, how much? How much is the closing provision for warranty? It's 1,100. Simple. And during the year ended 31st, 600,000 was spent on what? Oh, yeah. And during the LMI, 600,000 was spent on repairing goods under warranty, and this is included a distribution cost. It sounds like there is no issue, but body issue there is no issue. It sounds like it's there is no issue, but there is no issue. So kids daga W9 warranty expense paid and relevant warranty expense. Working number 9, warranty expense paid and relevant warranty expense. I'll make it very clear. I think I started 10:45. I think 10:45. That is 11:45. 1.5 hours. I think that's fine, man. That's fine, right? And you're almost over. I'll try to make it more fast. If I can finish it within another 20 minutes, okay, I have one. And we have one. Not I have one, we have one. Yes, happy dinner. So let me open account called T account called warranty expense. Open account called warranty expense. This open warranty account, this provision warranty account. And kids, I can remember the trial balance. There was a opening provision, right? That means provision for warranty at the beginning of the rate. And provision for warranty can it's a liability, so it has a credit balance. So now my Dagana kids, how much is the balance? BPF is 800, right? It's a 15. So kids, how much is the closing provision? They have already mentioned it's 1,005. How the closing provision was 1,110, right? Isn't it? Then kids, it's a matter of it's a matter of just getting the total of this. It's a matter of just balancing this, right? So this side it will be balanced, cut down or carried down once again 1,110. Okay, right? And Lamai, I need to teach all two different adjustments. Good luck, kids. Lamai warranty paid and relevant warranty expense are two different ones. Lamai, what is the double? Always Lamai warranty expense paid. Lamai, like when it comes to an expense paid, Lamai, when it comes to an expense paid, the double entry is Lamai. Relevant expense, so here warranty expense account, the warranty expense പ്രശ്നം തന്നെ താഴെ warranty expense account right? So kids, how much is the warranty paid here during the year? 600,000 okay, fine. And my cash account credit. That is the double entry of expense paid, warranty expense paid. Always it's like. So my expense account will be debited, cash account credit. So go to expense account, warranty expense account, cash here debit karna 600. Well, it's a matter of just balancing this. So the debit side get a total of 1,750, credit side also 1,755. Fine. Now, then there will be deficit here, right? That is the amount which will be transferred to PL. That will be how much, Ramai? Is it 900? No, no, 900, sorry. 950, right? Kids, is it 950? So that's the relevant expense or relevant warranty expense. So you might be wondering, so what is double entry of relevant expense? Lama, relevant expense again double entry. PL. PL always PL account will be debited. That means the whole thing. PL account debited. I mean, warranty expense account, the warranty account, credit activity. So, in accounting, yeah, remember there are two. When it comes to a double entry, or when it comes to like expenses, so especially expenses or income, you have you have a separate entry for like expense. If you're talking about expense, so expense paid in cash and the relevant expense has two different entries. So paid in cash lamai double entries lamai. Right? The paid in cash double entries what lamai? Like cash decrease, so cash credit, expense account debit. The relevant expense double entries lamai. Always the relevant expense lamai PL will be debited and relevant expense account will be credited. So fine. Now again lamai. Now the problem is whether මොකද්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ? ප්‍රශ්නේ වල ළමයි මේ. They under what? Under distribution cost ළමයි. Under distribution cost PL එකේ දාලා තියෙන්නේ කීයද? PL එකේ දාලා තියෙන්නේ ළමයි මේ. The paid in cash amount. That's wrong. 600. That's paid in cash one. So that's you can't put that here. So first, I mean, you can first of all remove what? Remove warranty in paid in cash. Paid in cash is 600. You should remove that. And you should record the relevant warranty. How much is the relevant warranty expense? How much is the relevant one? It's 950, right? This is only that should be recorded. Make a theory exactly. Now what they have done is they have recorded the warranty expense paid in cash. Paid in cash record karana bad. Paid in cash record karana bad. Come on, kids. When it comes to PL, you prepared it on actual basis, not on cash basis. You know what is actual basis? Actual basis can when prepare for us expense paid or not in cash, income received not in cash, always relevant income and expense should be recorded in income statements. In distribution cost, they are recording the paid in cash. But it's wrong. You should record the relevant expense, which is 950. So 600 950. Are you fine and clear? Yeah, same. Yeah, that's simple. It's simple logic here. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. So what have they done is they have recorded the paid in cash warranty. So PL is recorded on actual basis. You can't record paid in cash things. You should record the relevant expense. So paid in cash is relevant amount. Simple. And I'll make it very quick. Income tax shown in the trial balance. Okay, okay. Now it's about the income tax. WH, which is income tax. Yes. Define income tax. What about income tax? Income tax paid in the trial balance choose 450 paid for the previous year and the income tax paid for the first 3 quarters. The total income tax liability for the current year is 800. Okay. Kids. So first of all, Lama, income tax paid in current year. Lama, always income tax paid in current year is available in TB. Trial balance. But Lama, in trial balance, how much is the income tax paid in the current year? In the trial balance, they might have given, okay, 1,100. But out of these 1,100 kids, how much is paid in respect for the previous year? Out of this, I mean 450 for previous year. Then how much is so the remaining amounts? 1,100 minus 450, how much is it, Lamani? 660 the Lamani. 650. Current year, first 3 quarters. So make it Lamani. Yeah. Always Lamai, income tax paid in the current it's available in GB, it's 1,100, and of that Lamai, 450 is paid respect to previous year, last portion of previous year, which is 450. Then Lamai, how much is paid in respect for the current year? Current year, 1,100 minus 450, how much is paid for the current year? It's 650, right? So first 3 quarters of the current year, 650. And the total income tax liability, how much is the total the relevant income tax for the current year? Relevant income tax for the income tax are paid name. So the relevant income tax for the current year, how much? They're saying it's 800. So it's so the relevant income tax for the current is 800. And how much is the income tax for the first 3 quarters? It's 650, which means how much is the income tax for the last quarter? It's 150 and it's payable. Simple. It's payable and it's simple. It's payable and it's simple. Very simple. Then my income tax payable, how much is it? How- So relevant one is 800. Already for this year 650 is paid. So how much is income tax payable? 150. So Lama, simply in in the TB Lama, you get the paid income tax for the current year, which is 1100. Of that, 450 is paid for the previous year. I incurred 450 from 1100 when you minus 450. How much is paid in respect for the first 3 quarters of the current year? It's 650. And Palya, they are saying the total income tax relevant for the current year is 800, which means Lama, it's obvious for the last quarter how much should be, how much is the income tax for the last quarter? It's 150 and it's payable. Are we clear? Are we clear? Yeah, right. So directly, I told you, Lama, these important type of liabilities directly disclose it under current liabilities income tax payable. How much is it, kiddies? How much is the income tax payable? It's 150, right? Income tax payable is 150. And definitely open a note number 6. How much is the income tax for the current year? How much is it? It's 800, isn't it? And then if you recall the previous year under provision, how much is the provision made, How much is the income tax? Yeah, Lamai. At the beginning of the year, we made a provision for income tax of 450. Sorry. We have made an income tax provision of 350. And how much is paid in respect for the previous year? 450. So what we have made is a under provision, the over provision. What about the provision we have made? The provision like under the over. The provision we have made in like simply we thought for the previous year we might have to pay 350. But actually how much have we paid? It's 450. So what about the provision we have made? The opening provision is the under provision, right? So under provision, how much is the under provision? 10? Yeah, then sorry. 100, right? Then here you get 900. And this 900 record it under what? Income tax expense. Fine, fine, fine. Are you done? Is it easy or difficult? Easy, right? So far, no issues, right? Okay, fine. Now let's go to this road capital thing answer. The stated capital of the company as at first for 2022 consists of ordinary shares issued at rupees 10. So go to TB and see how much is the opening split capital here. How much is the opening stated capital? Ramai, Ramai should be very cautious. I should be very cautious. Why am I saying so? Is they have prepared the trial balance at the end of the day, right? They have prepared the trial balance at the end of the day, and they have not specifically mentioned that the stated capital is given at the UP balance. So by default, take a pencil and record this 40,000 as closing cost. Please record it as closing cost because Ramai, the main reason why I'm saying so is no, why am I saying so is kids, the trial balance is prepared at the closing date. The trial balance is prepared at the closing date. And they have not specifically mentioned that the stated capital balance is opening date. So which means take a pencil and record it as the closing balance. Just record it as the closing balance. Then Balala, retain earnings again. Now they have specifically mentioned that it's based on the opening date, right? But state capital, they have not mentioned it like that, which means you can't put it as opening balance without reading the additional information. So it's better to record it in pencil as the closing balance. Use mole, mole. Use your brains. Your brains. Use it. And kids, okay. So which means they are saying okay, then we can the opening what the opening. अभी दाव दान है. State capital balance consists of ordinary shares which were issued at rupees 10 per share. The company capitalized retained earnings for one share for every five shares held at the middle of the year, right? Okay, at 10. However, no entry, enemy, this entry has not been done in the books of accounts certified. Further, the company made a public issue of shares 10,000 on first 2020, but this has been propagated. Which means, kids, method daganki share issue kira, like Lamai, there are two share issues. One is a capitalization of reserves, a capitalization. You guys know what's a capitalization of reserves, right? Capitalization of retained earnings or capitalization of reserves, which is also known as bonus issue. Lamai, capitalization of reserves or capitalization of retained earnings, which is also known as bonus issue. What happens here? Issuing shares free of charge to existing shareholders. You issue shares free of charge to existing shareholders. Simply, Methana again and Lama when here we use the audit here the company uses the retained earnings and using retained earnings, using the what? Uh, stored earnings of the business and using them issuing shares free of charge to existing shareholders. There might be multiple reasons for that to motivate the existing shareholders. Yeah, blah blah. Anyway, the shares are given to the existing shareholders free of charge. But the problem is they have not accounted, but they are after that there's a share issue. There's a share issue of 10,000 after that. Like anyway, capitalization is happening on 2022 October. Share issue is happening on 2023 January. So which means share issue is happening after the capitalization and only share issue has been recorded. And how much is the share issue? It's 10,000 fine. Fine. Which means, there is a capitalization but not recorded. So which means how much is the opening ordinary share state capital balance? Opening state capital balance again. It's 30,000, right? Okay, fine. Now closing 40,000 will change. We have taken closing balance as 40,000 because they have already recorded the share issue of 10,000. Then opening balance will be 30,000 fine. And now separately you should find how much is the what? I make a total get up yeah. Share issue क्या normal share issue का क्या cash comes in. Now kids, which means how much is the kids, how much is the opening order share state capital balance? It's 30,000, right? Yes, sir. Workings 11 th දාගන්න kids. Kids, how to find the number of shares? Lamai, how to find the number of shares? Kids, number of shares equals stated capital balance divided by price per share. So kids, how much is the, yeah, yeah. So once again, Lamai, what's happening? Stated capital of the company as at first for 2020, which means at the opening date, okay, we know it's 30,000. It consists of shares, it consists of 10 rupee shares, fine. And Lamai, company capitalized retained earnings in the portion of like they are issuing a new one share for every five share held on first in 2020, which means Lama, yeah, which means on the day this capital on the day the capitalization is happening, Lama, on the day this capitalization happening, the stated capital balance is how much? 30,000, and it consists of 10 rupee shares with 30,000 can Lama without the last three zeros. Without last three zeros, yes, the amount of shares available is how much, Lamani? 3,000 shares. And kids, the company is deciding to issue one share for every five shares. So, so it's like you have 3,000 shares initially, and you are issuing one share for every five. So, which means, kids, how much of shares will be issued now? Is it 600 shares? Is it 600 shares? 600 shares, and that's issued at what, Lamani? So kids, yeah, you had 30 on the day in which the capitalization is happening, you have 30,000 state capital balance. Price per share is 10, and which means how many shares available? 3,000. And Lama, now you are issuing one share for every five shares. So initially you have 3,000 shares, and like for every five share you are issuing one share. So 3,000 divided by five, you'll be issuing 600 shares, and one share will be issued for change. So how much is your capitalization of reserves? It's 6,000, right? Go here, and yes, my capitalization as capitalization at 6,000, and using what are they issuing free of charge shares now? Using retained earnings. Yes, so your retained earnings will decrease by 6,000. It's a non-cash matter. Cash is not coming. The total liquid is not affecting because my here when your stated capital is increasing, your return earnings is decreasing. Yes, sir. Director fee 1,500 has been included on administration fees. Anyway, Lama, anyway, director fees definitely, sorry. Anyway, Lama, director fee should be recorded in administration expense. Now, you might be wondering, then, sir, why should they specifically mention it? Lama, if they are specifically mentioning director fee, yeah, Nikan name, it's not just, why is it? Okay, Kiana Lama, they are asking you to prepare the PBT note. Yeah, this is the note lot of students forget to open, especially the web jobs. So PBT note can Lama, I mean, it's a note where you should disclose around four expenses like on PBT note can Lama, the profit before tax has been calculated after reducing the following expenses. Can Lama, it's a note where you should disclose around four, five important expenses which you record under workings. Like so the following Lama, the truth is the classification of classification of expenses were done in workings column ne lama. All these expenses they were recorded under workings column ne. So out of those expenses Under the PBT note, you should disclose around 4 5 important expenses. And director remuneration is one of the most important expenses. And if you don't record it, like most probably in this scenario, they'll cut marks. Anyway, otherwise, no need to put it directly. And if you ask me, sir, why these expenses should be disclosed? If you ask, why sir, sir, direct like why these important expenses should be disclosed? There are two reasons. One reason is let you know the components of financial statements. It's statement of profit and loss, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows, accounting notes, and statement of financial position. You don't have workings. If you refer financial statements of JK Holdings, companies like JK Holdings, if you refer their financial statements, the workings parts are not there. But certain expenses are there, certain expenses are there, certain expenses are there. Stakeholders should know those expenses. Example, director remuneration. Example, audit fees. Example, lease interest. Those expenses, they should be what, available in notes for decision making. Because working parts is not given to the stakeholders. It's not available under financial statements. They don't worry, I know everything. It's not, I can't say I know everything. I can't say everything, but practically, let's put it aside again. The internet didn't pay it for the shareholders. Okay, it's that's anyway wrong. Dividends, you can't record it on other expenses. So you just remove dividends from other expense, remove 800, and record it under yeah, in statement of changes in equity. When it comes to when it comes to dividends, dividends they are like drawings, they are like drawings. So how do you record them? Just go to statement of changes in equity under return earnings. Yeah, Adugranda. So that's it. So we are done, right? We are done. So done. Keyword guys, not another one thing to be done. Dig to hand. Yeah, the dig to be found. Apart from that, all the things are done. Are depend let's find the dip and let's record those depreciations as well. Lamai, anyway, land is not getting deep, Lamai, and there was no any whatsoever purge. I mean, there were no additions, disposals, or evaluations regarding factory building, right? No. So, which means the closing cost will be automatically the opening cost, which is 28,000. And Lamai, how much is the dip of factory? Factory के dip पे किए देना the useful lifetime is 14 years, so which means the cost is 20,000. 20,000 divided by 14. What is the answer, man? Is it 2,000? Annual dip, is it 3,000? Is it 2,000 kids? So which means the closing accumulated depreciation will be 7,000. 20,000 minus 7,000 is it 21,000? Please, can someone confirm it to me? Yeah, right. The opening cost is 28,000 minus 14 from 14 years. Annual is 2,000. Yeah. Then Matakala made 2,000 recorded on expense. Wait. Don't put it on expense. Don't put it on expense. Don't you dare to put it. I'll tell you the reason. Like, इसको दोगे मैं factory building. Factory building ला मैं दान नहीं. Those depreciations should be recorded in manufacturing account. Manufacturing account again दान नहीं. In manufacturing account lamai, under production it's only media that. Not here, method expense only that. I have to do these things. Everything I have to do to make. I mean, to be honest, lamai, these two expenses are commonly known as what expense. These two expenses are commonly known as what cost. It starts from P. You call it period cost. Or you call it non-product. These are non-production cost. Or these are non-manufacturing cost or non-production overheads. Simply, these are the costs incurred after the production. And then you might be able to say, what about the production cost? Now, my production cost will be available in the manufacturing step. That will be available in the manufacturing state. Yeah. That will be available in what statement? Manufacturing state. Take a manufacturing statement everything. Obviously, one kid got here. Kids, when it comes to cost, when it comes to cost, yes. If you won't, yeah, but theoretical knowledge is definitely important. Working still, when it comes to be honest, when it comes to cost, yeah, when it comes to cost, yeah, the production cost and yeah, the non-production cost, which is known as period cost. Lama, this non-production cost की ने PL लगे. PL लगे expense होता है non-production cost. Then what about production cost? Where is it available? Production cost is available in manufacturing state as prime cost and production overheads. Then later added to cost of sale. Yeah, later, yeah, it was yeah, cost of sale. I cannot remember when it comes to manufacturing statement. Before starting this session itself, I mentioned when it comes to manufacturing statement, how are you preparing a cost of sale of manufacturing account? Opening stock plus, not purchase, production cost, right? So, production cost is available in manufacturing statement related to cost of sale, non-production cost, within the PL get inexpensive. So now, which means now factory building dip kya lamai, it's a production cost. You can't record it under here expense. You should record what you should add it to a production cost. Are we clear here? Tirnani, logic, right? Logic. When it comes to cost, you can categorize it as production cost and non-production cost. Lamai, me mean that they are non-production cost. These are non-production costs. These two are non-production costs, which is known as period cost. Lamai, then what about the production cost? Its production cost is available in the what? Manufacturing state. In manufacturing state model, you add the prime. I mean, you record direct material, direct labor, direct other the total is prime cost. Then for that you add the production of it. Then you get the production cost. Later that will be added to cost of sale. Now the workings to calculation of cost of sales kila. Calculation of cost of sale kila last sama daagala opening inventory. Opening inventory then opening stock. Opening finished goods. Opening stock. Now this is a manufacturing business, right? In a manufacturing business, cost of sale consists only the what cost, Lamani? Only the production cost. If it's a trading business, then it consists what? Then it consists purchase. If it's both production cost plus purchase. Logic. Huh. Logic, right? Are we clear? Anybody? Yeah, clear, right? Kaya simple, monosyllabic, simple. Okay. another maybe maximum. But I wouldn't like 5 minutes, I think. Which means within 2 hours we have done, right? Okay, that's fine. Manufacturing plant එක ළමයි manufacturing plant එකේ මෙහෙමයි manufacturing plant එකේ yeah, the opening balance is 28,000, but we are purchasing a manufacturing plant costing 12,500 on March 20th, right? But Pallehagna, this plant is available at the beginning of next year, which means Rama, this entire plant is not being utilized in this year. This 12,500 is not being used in this year. It started to be used in the next year, so we are not depreciating. So directly you can find depreciation for 28,000. You can divide it by 7. 28,000 divided by 7, how much is it? Is it 4,000? My dear students, it's 4,000. It's 4,000, right? Isn't it? Then it's 8,000. Then 40,000 minus 8,000, what is the answer? It's 32,500. හදිස්සියෙන් එපා. හදිස්සියෙන් එපා. ඔක දාන්න යන්න එපා. Don't put it under what? Nathan, don't put it under expenses here because manufacturing dip related to manufacturing plants, factory dip, all those things are what recorded under production cost. Office equipment dip නම් ළමයි කෙලින්ම දාගන්න closing cost of office equipment is 12,000. So no purchase or disposal. So opening cost is also 12,000. Since no purchase, oh yeah, fine. And llama divided by 5, yeah, 12,000 divided by 5, what is the answer? It's 22,400. So the total will be 5,900. 12,000 minus 5,900, what is the answer? It's 6,100. Yeah, right? This 2,400 llama, since it's office depreciation, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Office equipment dip kila llama, I put. And administration, no offenses. 2,400. Ek na prashna. But okay, now the problem is we are stuck with this 2,000 and 4,000 අපිට ඒක දාන්න තැනක් ඇත්තටම නැහැ. We don't have any place to do put this 2,000 and 4,000. Okay, fine. I'll teach you. Now go to the first adjustment. And Balamai, a student who is will be what trying to do the first adjustment, Pauni. කියන්න බෑනේ first එක ළමයි. First එක හදන්න බෑ first එක first එක. දැන් මෙතන කියලා ළමයි okay. In this year, in this year, in this year, 10,000 units of goods were produced. Make a more important. I think it's one of the most important points, and it's the part which is difficult to teach. In this year, 10,000 units of goods were produced. Okay, this year, 10,000 units of goods were produced in the current year, and 10% of those units will remain at the closing date, and it is been showed as finished goods inventory. The depreciation relevant for production of goods have not been considered when calculating the cost of sales. They can like the depreciations of those two plant, I mean, of factory building and machinery plant. Once again, Lama, we can, in other words, they are saying the depreciation of factory building, which was 2,000, and manufacturing plant, which is 4,000, they have not been added to what? Production cost, which means they are not included in cost of sale as well. Yeah, fine. कभी हिमालय में रोशनी हरी मोड़ है. I'm telling directly. रोशनी हरी मोड़ है. The roshni is very. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not practical. Okay, fine. කමක් නැහැ practicalness එක දාලා නැහැ. ලොකු වැරද්දක් තියෙනවා ප්‍රශ්නිකේ. තරදගේ පොඩි impracticalness එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ opening stock කින්ද තමයි impracticalness එක එන්නේ. No, it's not professional. No, it's not professional. It's very. I'll tell you the reason. No one, no. I mean, I think personally, at to this date, one on you can go to YouTube, do whatever class I do. And like, no one might talks about the impracticalness here. I'll tell you what's the impracticalness here. But before pointing out, I should tell you all, become impractical. Kila dakkan udah cutting. Can even you can say it's impractical, but I'll say with a reason. Kids. No, they have given the cost of sale. First of all, they have given the cost of sale. Now, how much is the cost of sale which have been given? Okay, fine, it's 45,200. No offenses, cost of sale is 45,200. And Lamai, how much is the closing stock? Lamai, closing stock gun, yeah, closing finish with raw materials gun, closing raw materials done, when you are preparing the manufacturing statement. So go to inventories. Like when it comes to my students, I have told them the difference between inventories and goods. I have told everything, Lama. You can't say anything to me. Yeah. I think you can't say anything to me. I have told these things. I have specifically told you, Lama, kila dila diya. I have told you all the differences between inventories and goods, right? Can you remember? I have told you all inventories and goods are not same. Haven't I told you? Haven't I told you? Haven't I told you? I have told you all multiple of times, right? Isn't it? You can't say like I have never told. So when it comes to inventories, it consists of mainly three things. One is raw materials. Next one is what? Work in progress. Next one is, goods. You call it finished goods. Finished goods or stock. Now to be specific, Lama, these what? These finished goods or stock can be two types. One is what? One is manufactured by the business. Next one is purchased. Raw materials, they are simply unprocessed things from 0% kila dana. I'll put it as 0%. Work in progress kina lama 0.1 to 99.9% processed things. Finish kina lama is kelima 100%. Understand the logic. For the students who don't know the logic, these things are magic. So when it comes to inventories, it's a common name. Inventories consist of three things: raw materials, work in progress, finished goods. And if your business is a trading business, Lamai, your inventory will consist only finished goods. Ekatlamai purchase finished goods. If your business is a manufacturing business, then it contains raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods. But finished goods will only manufactured finished goods. But if your business is a both manufacturing and trading business, raw materials, work in progress, finished goods, both manufactured as well as purchased. So Lama here, since it's a manufacturing business only, you have only raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods are manufactured. And here they are specifically mentioned there is no work in progress. So you have only what? Raw materials and finished goods, which consist of manufactured finished goods. Hope it's very clear. And ළමයි මතක තියාගන්න raw materials ඒවා දාන්නේ ළමයි manufacturing statement එකට. statement. Manufacturing එකට. Work in progress දාන්නේ manu එකට. ළමයි goods තමයි කොට දාන්නේ ළමයි. goods තමයි දාන්නේ ළමයි PL එකට. goods වලට අදාළ දේවල් තමයි PL එකට දාන්නේ. And ළමයි total what inventories දානවා SLFRS එකට. The total of what? The total of closing SLFRS. Moroni. So the total of inventories will be going to the SLFRS. Raw materials are manufactured. Like once again, totals will be going to what? SFP. On the other hand, individually raw materials will be going to manufacturing, work in progress in manufacturing, and stock in PL. So the PL under PL cost of sale stock. Logic, logic. Simple. So ළමයි මෙතන මේ how much දැන් කියන්න ඕනේ raw materials ගන්නයි කියලා. දැන් දාන්න. See? And how much is it? 3,600. Closing stock is 3,600. Closing stock is 3,600. And let me tell you something. Let me bloody tell you something. Let me bloody tell you something. ළමයි ආගන්න. In this year, ළමයි, okay, 10,000 units of goods were produced in this year. Okay, currently 10,000 worth of goods were produced in the current year. 10% of these units will remain unsold at the end of the year. So which means අපිට හිතන්න වෙනවා ඔය 10% තමයි දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ළමයි they have, I mean kids, they have manufactured 10,000 units and from that 10% is remaining, which means 90% have been sold. And llama, yeah, the remaining, yeah, okay. And it is shown as the closing finish inventory. So that remaining 10% time how much is it? 3,600. So which llama, if 10% is 3,600, how much is 100% llama? So they are saying, yeah, they are saying llama, they are producing 10,000 units and 10% is remaining, and that remaining 10% is equal to 3,600. So which means llama, they are manufacturing 100%. So how much is 100% as an amount? It's bloody 36,000. Am I correct? Am I correct? Is it 36,000? My dear students, is it 36,000? So they are producing 10,000 units of goods in the current year. They are bloody producing 10,000, and from that 10% is what? Remaining, and that 10% is equals to 3,600, which is given here, which means they are manufacturing 100%. And how much should be 100%? It's 36,000. Am I correct? Am I correct? Yes, right. But there is a problem. But the problem is Lama, when computing these what? When computing the production cost, they have not recorded those what? Those two depreciations. Where they get depreciations, whether manufacturing plant and factory building, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you something. Then Lama, yeah, cost of sale, the wrong cost of sale is 45,200 minus, that's coming after minusing a closing stock of how much, kids? 3,600, which means how much is the cost of goods available for sale? How much is the cost of goods available for sale? So I have told you, all right, Lamani, basic max. When you are going from down to up, if something is reduced, you add it. If something is added, you reduce it. So here 3,600 is reduced. So when you're going up, add current. So when you add it to 45,000, when you add it to 45,200, how much is the cost of goods available for sale now? Is it 48,800? So how much is the cost of goods available for production? Are we clear? Lamai, the cost of sale is 45. Lamai, the cost of sale is 45,200, and and cost of sale is 45,200 after a remaining of 3,600. Then how much is cost of goods available for production? How much is available for sale? How much is percent of the sale? 48,800. Then opening stock, yeah. Lamai, of these 36,000 is production cost, which means how much is the opening stock? 12,800. ළමයි දැන් practicalness එක මම කියන්නද? ළමයි අපිට by default හිතන්න වෙනවා මේ all the open stock has been sold කියලා. අපිට හිතන්න මේක වලට theory ඕනේ නැහැ හිතන්න, but මේ දැන් මෙයාලා කියනෝනේ ළමයි මෙයාලා කියනවා they are not talking anything about opening stock, but අපි මේ මැදුන opening stock. and opening stock will be coming. And after assume the entire opening stock has been sold because they are I mean, because they are saying closing stock consists of 10% of what we produce in this year. They're not talking anything about opening stock. But I believe there is an opening stock of 12,800. Then come the risk. Now what do you think? You told it's professional, right? Is it professional? Is it professional? Huh? Is it professional? No way in Sri Lanka, no one will not go to this extent. Ah, man, okay. Good. My man. He's my man. He's following me. My man is following me. Come on, Maruni. And this big, this makes it, this makes this more interesting, right? Isn't it? ඇත්තටම වැරදි.
අද අපි කරපු එකෙත් මේ වගේ ගන්න සති
Yeah, that's what that open that's what we should mention. That's my boy. Yeah, he's following me. Good. They should feel it. Like, like they're not talking anything about opening stock, but if you go for there's an opening stock of 12,800. ඒකදී අපි හිතන්නේ නා by default වික්කා කියලා බටි ඉතින්. ඒක ඒවත් කියලා නෑ. I mean, එහෙම කියන්න නැතුව නම් අපිට මේ දැන් මම එහෙම කියන්න බෑ because මේ percentage we took as a percentage. අපි මේ සෙල්ලම දැම්මේ percentage එකකට. දැන් බැරිලාකත් හිතන්නකො ළමයි this 3,600 consist of something available from the opening stock කියලා. එතකොට මේ 10% අර මගුල් මේ මගුල් දාන්න බෑ. ඒ ඔක්කොම අඩු කරලා remaining amount එකට තමයි දාන්නේ. ඒකයි kids. Understand the logic. Anyway, fine. එච්චර දුර යන්න ඕනේ නෑ. Once again, එච්චර දුර යන්න ඕනේ නෑ. Kids, you need to what? Go to that extent. Next level. So which means we found impractical in 2023 papers, right? Like, fine. So that's the level we should target. So once again, cost of sale, impressive, wrong cost of sale, 45,500. And the closing stock, 3,600 fine, which means if you go up, minus things should be added. So how much is cost of goods available for sale? 48,800. Okay, fine. And the key point is what? The key point is they have manufactured 10,000 goods in this year. And in the 10% of these units. So which means of the production, which is 100%, 10% is remaining as unsold at 31st 2023 and is shown as closing finished goods. Impractical. The here the entire finished goods, this entire finished goods only represents 10% of current year production, which is unsold. නැත්තම් කියනවා ළමයි එහෙනම් මෙහෙම කියන්නේ නැත්තම් simply කියනවා the opening entire opening stock is being sold කියලා කියනවා. That's fine. මෙහෙම මේ opening stock එකක් එන විදියට එහෙනම් ළමයි they should if not ළමයි they should give the cost of sale in a way where there is no two options are there. First of all, to make the question practical, they should give the question with no opening stock. Mama hitanne එක ගැලපෙයි කියලා මේ මොකද this business has not started in this comments කියලා කොහෙවත් කියලා නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ළමයි නම් කියනෝනේ all the opening stock has been sold within this. Fine. එහෙනම් මම ආගියු කරන්න යන්නෙම නැහැ. එතන එහෙම මුකුත් කියන්නේ නැහැනේ. Opening stock entire මේ 12,800 එක එන විදිහට දෙන්න ඕනේ. But it's impractical මොකද I think the businesses should be commencing this year. It's not. I mean, it's not happening like this. So a business which is already conducting my ජීවිත in such a business in the practical world, they are obviously opening stock team. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඊසිම වැඩේ මේ brackets වලින් දාලා කියන්න ඕනේ the entire opening stock has been sold. Fine. Which means අපිට මේක එහෙම තමයි assumption එක ගන්න ඕනේ. හිතන්න නම් මේ entire thing is sold කියලා. entire opening stock is so fine. Then it's fine. Then Ramai, it's bloody confirmed. It's bloody confirmed that this entire what, 36, this entire 3,600 consists of only 10% of what is manufactured within this year. And if 10, so if 10% is equal to 3,600, how much is the total production? It's 36,000. Fine. So Lama, yeah, 48,000 consists of 36,000 which is produced in this year. Then how much is the opening stock? 12,800. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, fine, 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 fine. And now what should happen in the reality? Lama, in the reality, what should happen is the production cost, which is 3,000, 36,000, make it Lama. Two depreciation should be added because those are what? The factory related expense, Lama, those should be added to the production cost, which is 2,000 and 4,000, which will make your production cost increase to 40, 40, 40, 42,000. You know why 40,000, 42,000? Because factory building dip was 2,000, manufacturing plant building was factory building dip was 2,000, manufacturing plant dip was 4,000. So which means the correct production cost it should be 42,000, not 36,000. Then my cost of goods available for sale it will increase to how much, Lamani? Is it 54,800? Yeah, 54,800, right? Fine. And Lamai, now, now the closing stocks value is not 3,600. Hey, because production cost is 42,000, right? So, Lamai, how much is now 10% of 42,000? So, the correct closing stock value will be also 4,200. So, then Lamai, 54,800 minus 4,200, what is the answer? It's 50,600. So kids, now you might be wondering, so how the hell did 3,600 became 4,200? You think, Lama, the correct production cost is how much? The correct production cost is 42,000. And 10% of 42,000 is the remaining. So how much is 10% of 42,000? The correct closing stock should be, it should be not then 3,600, it should be 4,200. Then for 52,800 minus 4,200, how much is the correct cost of sale? It's 50,600. Are we bloody clear here? Are we bloody clear here? Yes or no? Go to cost of sale, put yes 56,600. Are you bloody clear? Clear, right? Come on, देखा. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? How about that? And Lama, and the next thing is I told you all, I to don't tell me to teach initial testing. Mama ලස්සනට කියලා දීලා තියෙන්නේ. Initial testing I told you I in this scenario I මෙතනට එකතු වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ කියලා මම කියලා දුන්නානේ. Just balance this off and see. Gamma, now go to trial balance and දාපු නැති ඔක්කොම දාගන්න. ළමයි costing done, accumulated depreciation done, okay done. Gain එක හරි sale එක 7 nothing happened to sale, right? 75,900 done. 75,900 done. Then ළමයි, yeah, how much is the cost of sale coming? Answer එක 25,300 ද? Yeah, 25,300. ළමයි other income එකේ there was an additional other income here, right? ළමයි, yeah, the key point is when it comes to recording inventory ළමයි, yeah, when it comes recording inventory, it's Non-core when it comes to, yeah, when you're recording inventory in SFP record करिए, you record all three in now. Here we don't have working in progress. So add raw materials plus finished goods, not 3,600, but 4,200. So the total is 4,800. And other income, there is two separate other income of 2,200. Ekat याद है? So the total is 2,800. Is it 2,800? Okay, fine. 2,800. Trade receivables, trade payables with the ki trade receivables, trade payables. Kids trade receivables, how much was it? 9,150. Trade payables, I think I have separately allocated a column for that, a cell for that, please. 6,500. Fine, fine, fine. Cash and cash equivalent, once again, directly you can record Lamai. Since cash and cash equivalent is directly given Lamai, no need to open a separate note. Directly record it as 300. Fine. Ordinary shares also we are done. Return earnings things, yeah, you should separately record it. How much is the opening returns? 24,000. Fine. And Lamai, unfortunately, however, there is no revaluation result. There is no opening general result. So fine. So the total equity will be opening total equity is 30,000 plus 24 is 54,000. Uh, Distribution cost. Yeah. Then Lamai, they have given the opening like balance board foods of expenses. How much is the distribution thingy, Lamai? Distribution thingy is 8,900, whereas your administration thing is 7,000. $7,500 and other expense 1,000. Finance, how much is it? 5. Apodek in y'all come there. Canceling balance karagane kids. So I'm done with that and provisions things are done, right? Okay, fine. Oh, it's a matter of getting the total of the expenses. Kids finance expense, how much is it? Is it there was only one finance? It's 1,780 the kids, 1,780 and the this one it's I think 800. This one is 4,000, 4,000, 8,200, 10,600. Here it's kids here it's 9,900, 10,250. Yes. I'm really bad at maths, so please. Har the banana. So kids, how much is the this 10,250? 10,600, maybe 800 and 1,7 something, right? 1,8. Yeah, yeah, fine. The total of the expenses will be a staggering of 20, 20, 20, 20, 21, 21, 21, 22, 6, 22, 6, 22, 6, 23, 3, 20, 30. Yeah, 23, 4, that is left. At the moment, the total will be coming here. Am I see part see high? Let me see how I see. So So it's minus something like this. It's up. I told that specifically. Just give me a second. I'll come there. Just give me a second. Let's dance first of all. Lamaya, it's 2006. Yeah, something like that. Okay, fine. And from that, you minus 900. It's 377. 23. Just give me a second. Just give me put it in there. When I'll come there again. The balance कर लेंगे. I think you should be there in the session. Kid. Alright. Again, kids. Now it's one of the most important points. Please listen, all the students. Lama, it's about how now it's about how you transfer. It's about how you it's about how you transfer. It's about how you transfer this amount to like the the PL amounts you should transfer to changes in equity. Now, how are you gonna do that, kids? Kids, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do that, Islamine? Simple. Always PAT you add it to return. Yeah. So take PAT. Always you add it to what? PAT you add it to retained earnings, which is 3,770. And if there is any other comprehensive income part, you add it to revaluation reserve with an and total like that, total like so here the total will be 3,700. Very simple, kids. What do you do? Just take the PAT, just take the PAT, which is 3,770. Very simple. Just add it to what? Retained earnings under total comprehensive income. Totally, you write first you write the opening balance, then to write something called total comprehensive income. And under retained earnings column, you record what you record under PAT. And if you record something on other comprehensive income, get the total of it, record it under valuation reserve, and the total record it under total column. So here, since there is zero here, since there is now no other comprehensive income, your total will be also 3,700. Get the total of this, which is 46,000. Fine. Get the total of this, which is 18, 18, 18, 18, 18, 18. 29, 70. Yeah, I mean, and it will be 66, 970. They got to go. Lamai, maybe once again, this total should be equal to this two. Like, fine, 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 fine. There was no bank loan, by the way. No revaluation reserve, no general reserve. This sheet was 20 something, like 29 cents. This was this was 46,000 plus 29 30, that will be 66 975 5 5 5. Just give me a second, Rasin. I'll count there. I'll definitely count there. But I can. Rasin, let's go to PP. Let's go to Rasin PP. And how much is the carrying values of PP? It's 31, 21, 32. It's 53, 53, 53, 59, 65. It's 65, 900. 66. Now, my note number one. 66,000. Wow, 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 wow. And your right of use asset taking note kida. Note madam dasi. Ada sih. Hari ini paling banyak ko ni kamburu. Dasi sih dasi. It's dasi dasi. Note two dasi. Fine. So the total will be 70. 82, 800, 82, 80. Fine, fine, fine. And freaking fine. And there were no other current assets, right? So current assets total is it's blah 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 13, 39, 39, 50, 14, 250. 6, 92, 96, 96, 90, 97, 0. Lamai, just give me a second. Make it your total current, it's there was no current assets, right? So blah, blah. We can remove this one. It's note number 4. It's note number 5. It's note number 6. So my whatever I noticed in recent years, now the number of notes you're opening is comparatively low. If you consider like a 16 questions like you prepare on like eight notes, 8, 9 maybe. The notes are the pramanadi, but the size of the adjustments are really huge. And lama mata that thing that like now it's recent years they did not that much focus about product. They are focusing on PP. Any other current liabilities? Okay. Aristro other current assets are even get more by expenses there. Those kinds of expenses are not 68. Yes, it's balance is in first. So the first time can ikabaran balance है. So there's balance करने का माल Jimmy. Let's say हम हटवाएंगे कि balance करने का that's why हटवाएंगे. थोड़ा जिन्ना then we balance. Notes डालो ना other income में तुम्हें note number ये जरूर मत like number should be inside other income तुम्हें other income tax का other income tax. I mean, it's not essential to maintain like maybe node. I mean, like you should start from 1 to. It's not essential. If you, it's not essential. No, no, it's not essential. Uh, and PBT is the fifth term. And fourth one was other current. Income tax is the fifth term. Sixth one was PBT. Yeah. Like that balance your life to. Abdul, can you see? It's very like nothing. Done, right? Fine, 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 like fine, okay. And now it's a matter of just disclosing some of the important expense. I have told you the reason as well because Lamai, with financial statements, we're not providing workings, Lamai. We only provide those five components: accounting notes, cash flow statement, changes in equity, non a comprehensive income statement, and change financial questions. So that's why important expense should be disclosed. Direct remuneration, the lease interest, which was 1 to 80, fine. තව මොනවද ඉතින්? ඩිප් එක දාගන්න ඩිප් එක. It's better to record the total dip at once. The total dip was කීයද ළමයි? අතන 6,000. So 6,000 and 7,500. Yeah, 8,400. Then next on kids, there was how much is the relevant warranty expense? In warranty is important. Warranty was the important for like relevant warranty paid was 600, but relevant was 950, right? No guy process. You paid the 8,400. Nice. Uh, what else is what are the maybe revaluation of the revaluation deficit of land 600. This is more than enough. 4, 5 more than enough. Fine, we are done, we are done, we are done. And just once again a quick explanation of LK 16. It's a quick explanation of LK 16. Lamai, according to new amendment, when they have given a testing cost, according to new amendment, yes, when they have given a testing cost with a professional fee and a raw material cost, in this scenario, yes, they have given a testing cost with a professional fee and a what? And a cost of raw material, yes, in such a scenario, according to new amendment, okay, according to new amendment, if they have given a testing cost with a professional fee and a raw material cost, lamai, short amount, add the professional fee to initial cost. So professional fee is 0.5, add that to initial cost. Fine. And the next thing is you take the raw material cost out. The what? When did the new amendment happen? Did us visit Mula 2023 beginning, January or 2024 December, 24 December, but it was implemented 2023 January. Why that's not true? I, I'm back here. I'm back here. I'm back here. So, in a scenario where what? Where testing cost, yeah, I got mother name amendment me out like last year, but it was implemented in this year beginning. It's on 20, oh, sorry, 2020. Sorry, 2020. Nah, 20, yeah, 23 beginning. This year, anyway, calling me. Oh, this year, previous year beginning. Anything now, this year, Lord, baby, once again 2022 December it was implemented and it was introduced in 2022 December and it was එළියට දැම්මේ 2023 January. But ඒක ළමයි 2020 it was not tested in 2023 A level. ඒ කියන්නේ 2022 A level paper ගාවේ ළමයි 2023 again. 2022 A level paper ගාවේ 2023 December sorry 2023 February නැත්තම් January ඉවරෙද්දී කියන්නේ but ඒක අහලා තිබුණේ නෑ but it was tested in 2023 A level paper which came in 2024 January. Are we clear? Right. Forward to now. We'll explain that part. So with the what happened is according to new amendment, if according to new amendment, according to a new amendment, if a testing cost is given with a professional fee and a cost of raw material used for testing in such occasion, the professional fee, hata bahagana, shorter amount and added to what? Initial cost. Just at 0.5 initial cost. Then you might be wondering, so what do you do for the cost of raw materials which are used for testing? Lamai, by default, if the cost of raw materials used for testing is being sold to for customers with a sale value, like Lamai, if now when it comes to testing a machine, Lamai, okay, there might be professional fees incurred that part you added to initial cost, but if you use raw materials, I mean, for initial testing, you use, like, for example, if you purchase someone mage lamai, you use raw materials for testing. So those raw material costs lamai, what you should do is, according to what, I mean, if that cost of raw material used for testing is like sold for customers is a failure, then, for example, here lamai, they're incurring a cost of raw materials of 1 million for testing. If that raw materials are being sold to customers for a sale, let's assume like, for example, the raw materials after they are being inputted, output comes as finished products. If those finished products are being sold to customers with a sale value of 1,500, in that occasion, sales proceeds add to sales, 1,500 add to sales, and that 1,000 you added to cost of sale. Because my cost of sale represents the actual cost of the goods which are sold to customers. Now, once again, if this 1 million is sold to customers with a sale value, in that occasion only add to what? Cost of sale and sales value add to sales. But the problem here is, kids, yeah, they're using 1 million cost of raw materials for testing. But when they can make a customers, we could not make a promotions if they can. You take it as promotions, they can prashna. Prashna, make a promotions with regard to the promotions with regard to I mean, it's not sold to customers, it's not cost of sale. No, ain't. They are going to sale like in such occasion, you just recognize it as what? You just recognize it as sales promotion and put it under distribution. I think, kids, here it was not sold to customers with a sale value. So how can you add it to cost of sale? Because cost of sale represents the cost of goods sold to customers, the actual cost of the goods sold to customers. So this was not sold to customers with a sale value. So you can't add to cost of sale. Right? And there was no sale value. Sale is around that. So here simply what has happened, the goods which were what? The goods which were produced from the initial test run, they were given to customers for free as sales promotion. So it's an expense. That 1,000 just record it under distribution expense. That's it. If you go, yeah, further if you go, what those buggers have done here is what? That 2 million, and that 1.5 million, they have recognized it under administration expense. So you go to administration expense. Administration expense again, you should minus what? 3,500. That's the W. I think. Go to administration expense. Administration expense will be debited out. Will be debited 3,500. How do we know? So not debited, credited. And Lama as distribution expense, distribution cost still, yeah, that's sales promotion cost. That 1,000 will be debited. And kids, the remaining 2,500, it will be added to manufacturing plant. And yeah, so reason for this 1,000 is Lama, since it's sales promotion, this 2,500 Lama, installation plus professional. How about that? How about that? Simple. That's how you adjust it. Administration expense credit card 3,500. Okay, Lama 1,000 you debit to at sales promotion cost. Because specifically here, Lama, the cost of raw materials which are using for testing, Lama, it's not being sold to customers in the sale value. In that you can't add to at cost of sales. Because cost of sale represents the cost of goods sold to customers. The actual cost of the goods sold to customers. Now, this 1,000 is not being sold to customers. It's done free of charge. So it's simply a distribution cost. But traditionally, Lamai, amendment again can if it's sold, if the cost of raw materials used for testing, if it's sold to customers the same, then in that occasion, then you have the cost of sales and the sales cost. If you let's assume here you're selling it for 1,500, for example. In that occasion, 1,000 you have to sales and sorry, 1,000 you have to cost of sale and 1,500 you have to sales. Are we clear? I think that's enough for this session. I think we all won. I think we all won. මාව හප්පපු ඒ පොඩි කොල්ලා එයා කරදුනා. මාව හප්පපු කොල්ලා කරදුනා අපි දින්නේ. And cab car. A cab and the trains. Yeah. And මඟට ගැපුවේ. Are we clear ළමයි? So that's it. I think this session went perfectly well. There's nothing wrong. I don't know. You guys should mention whether it's good or bad or whatever it is. And I think I did my best to clarify this session. So then, Lamai, that's all for this today's session. Hope it's very clear. So subscribe to Edu-Sketch channel. Yeah, subscribe it, please. Yeah, I want to obtain 10K within another 1 month. Then may Almighty bless you all. May Almighty bless you all. Bye bye. Have a nice day.